It happened a long time ago, at the very end of the 90s. Back then, we lived in an old duplex in Cleveland, built sometime in the 50s. The plumbing and repairs there were done only when things became absolutely unlivable. Everything breathed exhaustion. The wooden floors sagged, the pipes clanked at night. And the bathroom was barely 6 by 6 feet if converted to meters. Half of that space was taken by a heavy, solid cast iron bathtub. Not a modern replacement, but the kind they installed once and expected to last forever. No decorative panels, no ceiling, just open space beneath it, where dust and forgotten junk had been gathering for decades. Everything temporarily stored out of sight was there for good. An old paint can, broken tiles, empty bleach bottles, a ruined paint tray, and things no one wanted to touch anymore. We always had cats. Our old one died in the fall, and about a year later we got a little orange kitten named Cheese, after my sister's choice. He was supposed to grow into a fluffy beauty, but for the time being he was a tiny, chaotic creature. He had one persistent issue. He ran, hid, and made messes in the most unexpected places. We had to drag him from behind the dryer, out from under the bed, from inside the kitchen cabinet, and deal with whatever he left behind. And then one ordinary day, I was home alone. Cheese was racing around the rooms. I kept an eye on him out of the corner of mine. Suddenly, I heard that cry. That long, helpless cry he made when he'd gotten himself stuck somewhere. Only this time, the sound came from under the bathtub. I lay down on my stomach and looked in. The light didn't reach past the midpoint. Dust, rusty tools, a plastic bucket, but no kitten in sight. The meowing continued, coming from the far corner, where his litter tray usually stood. I slid the tray aside and tried crawling in from the exposed end. And that's when I remembered one crucial detail. Too late for it to help me. This bathtub had been split in half by the previous owners. They welded it back together right inside the house, and welded the legs too, reinforcing them with thick steel plates. Those plates were exactly what blocked the view from the end. I was now entering. I squeezed further in, my shoulders sliding along cold metal. Something moved in the dark. I heard meowing again, and a faint scuff. Cheese retreating deeper. I pushed a little more, and realized I was getting stuck. When I tried to back out, my movement was blocked by metal, either rebar or part of the welding. One careless jerk, and I could have impaled myself on something sharp. Panic started as a tremor, then as a chill, then finally as a clear thought. Damn, I really can't go back. And right then, something strange happened. Not a jolt, not a vibration. More like the entire house tilted a few degrees. Everything seemed to shift toward the wall behind the tub. And suddenly I could move forward. Not backward, only forward. I crawled. Tight, rough, my cheek in the dust, my ribs against metal. And where, according to the structure of the house, the end of the bathtub should have been, there was another turn. And another wall. A wall that shouldn't exist. The pipes were gone. too. No tiles, no sink, no smell of old plumbing, nothing recognizable. I couldn't turn my body, only crawl. The meowing was still ahead of me, at exactly the same distance, as if I was being led, kept from catching up. A turn, another, a third. Now, under the tub, lay different junk. Not ours, unfamiliar. Circuit boards, coiled cables, rolls of film, broken glass. I knew clearly, none of this had ever been in our home. After the 6th, maybe 7th circuit, I stopped counting. Reality itself began to feel like a heavy fabric wrapped around me. The meowing changed. Metallic tones slipped into it, like someone remembered how a kitten sounded, but could not reproduce it correctly. And suddenly, a turn with no wall. I crawled out. In front of me was another bathroom. Same dimensions, but not ours. The only light came from beneath the bathtub. Dim, violet tinted. I stood up, my bones cracked, and for the first time in what felt like hours, I managed a full breath. For a moment, I thought it was over, but then the tub gurgled. I looked inside. From thick, almost black water, two enormous glowing eyes stared up at me. They did not blink. They simply watched. And again, meowing. But now it was too precise, too deliberate, too aware. Behind the wall, something scraped and tapped, methodically, as if responding. I didn't think. I dove back, under the tub, into the same passage, now with a single purpose: to get back, no matter how. At that moment, the space tilted again, this time in the opposite direction. I crawled, feeling no skin, no time. A turn, another, and tile. My tile. Bright light. Familiar smell. I emerged and sat on the wooden porch for hours, smoking, not going back inside. And then I saw Cheese. He was lying on the windowsill, asleep, deep and peaceful, paws stretched, a quiet purr. He hadn't even woken up. While I was there, I moved his litter box into the hallway and stuffed so many boxes and things under the tub that nothing could ever crawl in or out again. We moved to another house a year later. There I installed a glass shower stall. No gaps whatsoever. And now, I never fully close bathroom doors. Sometimes, years later, I remember that sound. That meowing that became too close to a human attempt. And I understand. It wasn't calling the kitten. It expected something small, weak, easily taken. But I went in instead. And whatever waited beneath that bathtub was not prepared for that.